hear me? Can you hear me now? Yes or no? Everybody who's watching right now, if you can hear me, say yes. If not, say no. All right, well, nobody responded. So let's get on with this. Welcome to episode 2 of The Master of the Mat. I am your host, Anthony the Origin Bryant. This is the episode number 2, and in this episode, we will be talking about a little bit of everything. Last week, we talked about everything, but before we get to that, I want to show off a little bit of my collection. Okay, I have a various of championship collections that are sitting right here. As a matter of fact, first I'm going to show you the prestigious NXT Championship Belt. This belt has been worn by some of the main roster greats, including Seth Rollins, Big E. That's about it. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, they've all held this NXT Championship. Well, not this NXT Championship, but they've held the NXT Championship. Um, let's see. I'm going to show you my other collection. It's the prestigious Intercontinental Championship. This title is currently held by Apollo Crews. This belt has been around the waist of some of the greats like Randy Macho Man Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, um, the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, Bret Hart. This title has been around the waist of, matter of fact, every member of the Hart family except for Jim Neidhart held this Intercontinental Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, all these guys have held this. Well, not this, but they've held the Intercontinental Championship. I think Shawn held the white title. I may be wrong. I also have the prestigious United States Championship. This title debuted in the NWA when it was called the United States Heavyweight Championship. This title has been held by some of the all-time greats. Guys like Harley Race was actually the first United States champion. Ric Flair, John Cena. Actually, Ric Flair is a six-time United States champion. John Cena is a five-time United States champion. Guys who have held this title are guys like Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens. You got guys like who else I'm trying to think of? I can't think of it right now. It's not coming to Conan has held the United States Championship. You guys like Scott Hall held the United States Championship. This title has been around the waist of some of the all-time greats. And when I mean greats, both of the Steiner brothers have the prestiges of holding this title. As a matter of fact, Rick and Scott Steiner are former United States Tag Team Champions. They're also they're former WCW United States Tag Team Champions, and they're also former United States champion. And if my memory serves me correct, and I think I am, I truly believe they're the only tag team, the only brother duo to do that. Also, it needs to be refurbished, but it is the NWA Heavyweight Championship. I need to get this belt refurbished. It's been through a lot. This title has been held by the greats. Some of the guys that have held this title, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, you guys like Pat O'Reilly, um, Gene Kiniski, who else? You have guys that have held this title like um, Scrap Iron Adam Paris, who's currently the WWE General Manager for Raw and SmackDown. He's held that championship title right there. You have a lot of I'm sorry, the championship lingo that comes with each championship is unfreaking believable. And I have this one, the most prestigious title of all, the WWE Championship. This championship is currently held by Bobby Lashley. Yes, Bobby freaking Lashley. Lashley who held the ECW Championship on 2 occasions, who was a former TNA World Champion on 4 occasions. He's also the only man at this point to hold the TNA and the TNA, ECW, WWE, and not mistaken, I'm trying to think so. TNA, WWE, ECW championships, Bobby Lashley held by herself. So let's kick this show off with a bang. We're gonna start off talking about how WWE Women's Division has come in their own in the last couple of years. Okay, but the person who started that, the great Muda. Muda held the WWE Women's Championship longer than anybody else. When I mean anybody else, Fabulous Muda held that women's championship longer than anybody in WWE history. And she retired, came back in 1999, beat Ivory for the women's championship. And she only held it for like 2 months. But the matter of fact that she came out of retirement to win the championship is unfreaking believable. Okay, now modern day female wrestlers, Bailey, who is the first ever women's triple crown and Grand Slam winner. Okay, so in the women's Grand Slam winner, what that means is you have to held the NXT, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. Bailey was the first. Unofficially, Charlotte Flair was the first because Charlotte Flair is the only woman to hold the Divas Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship, and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. So Charlotte Flair was unofficially the first female to ever become Grand Slam winner and Triple Crown winner, but she was unofficial. Yes, that's what happens. Charlotte Flair is a 12-time women's champion overall. This Sunday, she has an opportunity to become a 13-time champion. And she's in that triple threat match with Rhea Ripley, Oscar, and Charlotte. Okay, the smart money's on Charlotte, but I'm going Rhea. Rhea has done things in NXT that I've never heard of. She had an outstanding 2019 when she beat Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. That match was awesome. In 2020, she dropped the title to Charlotte at the Empty Arena show at at WrestleMania. Now they say WrestleMania last year sucked. Okay, I don't agree with it. A lot of matches on there that stole the show. One of those matches on there, Charlotte and Reba, they did not hold back on each other. They held it. They did it all. They were one of a kind. That match really set the standard for the NXT Women's Championship. During the whole pandemic, not the whole pandemic. Well, during the whole pandemic, both Raw and SmackDown was taped at the Performance Center, and it just it was no fans. At one point, they was using NXT superstars as crowd, so it was terrible. But they got together. It was probably one of the best shows. Excuse me. They ever done when they got permission to go live. They did it for NXT, SmackDown, Raw. It was awesome, and it was excuse me. Ooh, oh, oh. So it was one of the things that you never forget. It was an awesome experience to see them two go at. To see, okay, so here's the thing: NXT, Raw, WWE has three separate women's divisions, and when I mean three separate women's divisions, they have three separate NXT, WWE Raw, WWE SmackDown. The best women's division, hands down, right now, NXT. I'm gonna tell you why. Eva Sharon, she held that title for close to a year. Right now, the current women's champion, uh, I forget her name, whoever she is, she's the current women's champion. She's going to do great things as women's champions. Amber Moon made history because she became the first female in NXT to hold the NXT championship and the NXT tag team championships. So that's just how it is now. Um, we're gonna throw out a wrestler before you. It's a female wrestling trivia. Who did Oscar beat to win her first NXT championship? Who did Oscar beat to win her first NXT championship? All right, now we talk about what we're talking. We're gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk about NWA, WCW. We're gonna talk about the United States Championship. The United States Championship at one point was called the United States Heavyweight Championship. Guys like Lex Luger, Sting, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Stunning Steve Austin made that title famous. Who can ever forget Stunning Steve Austin Sonny Steve Austin and Ricky Steamboat match at Clash of Champions for the U.S. title. Steamboat almost won the title the same way he beat Flair for the Intercontinental title, but it was a different way. Still, Steamboat Austin, perhaps that was the greatest U.S. title match of all time. You want to talk about another good United States title match? What about the Great American Bash when Sting beat Ming, aka Aku, aka the Tonga Kid, for the United States Championship at the Great American Bash, and that match almost did not happen. I'm gonna explain to you why. During the Great American Bash, Sting showed up. Sting showed up to the Great American Bash feeling fine. The rumor is Sting showed up to the show feeling fine. Ming showed up to the arena not that well. Ming had a fever of 105. They told him he had to get an ice bath to break the fever. Ice bath didn't break the fever. 5 minutes before the match, Ming broke the fever. Ming was in no shape to compete. Well, he went out there and he put on a 5-star show with Sting, where he was 100% of that. Sting and Ming was the best match of the whole Great American Bash when Sting won the tournament to win the United States Championship. All right, that U.S. title has been around the waist of some of the all-time greats in WCW, the Natural Dustin Rhodes, Teddy Blanchard, um, who else? Yeah, Teddy Blanchard, Magnum TA. Magnum TA won the title in a classic steel cage match from Teddy Blanchard. That was classic. I encourage you to watch it. The Starcade, I think it was 85 Starcade. He won the title. No, 84. I'm sorry. Won the title from Teddy Blanchard. Teddy Blanchard is a two-time United States champion. Teddy Blanchard is also a former TV champion, a former tag team champion with WAR Anderson. Um, U.S. Championship back in the old WCW days, a U.S. Heavyweight Championship was the stepping stone to the WCW Heavyweight Championship. If you had that title, you was the number one contender for the WCW Championship. A lot of guys didn't see that. A lot of guys look at the U.S. title as a stepping stone. Well, it kind of was. It was kind of a stepping stone to the World Heavyweight Championship. You talk about World Heavyweight Championships, you talk about how people the World Heavyweight Championship. You can't talk about it. WCW. You can't talk about it without saying Ric Flair. Ric Flair, a 21-time World Heavyweight Champion. Look it up. It's true. He's a 21-time heavyweight champion in the world. 10-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. 8-time WCW Heavyweight Champion. That's including the International Heavyweight Championship and a 2-time WWE Championship. So Ric Flair, 21-time World Heavyweight Champion, held the title. I don't think nobody's ever going to beat that record or even come close to 21 times. WWE only recognized 16 of Ric Flair's 21 title reigns. So it is what it is. It's just it is what it is. So like I said, Ric Flair, a 6-time U.S. champion. Ric Flair won his 6th United States championship when he beat Conan at the Bash of the Beach. He beat Conan at the Bash. He beat Conan at Bash of the Beach the same night Hogan came out and turned on Well, came out and turned on WCW when he dropped the leg on Randy Savage. He went from the immortal Hulk Hogan to Hollywood Hogan. It happened. Hogan was never a heel in WWF, WWE. He was he was supposed to be, but Vince didn't want him turning heel. Just like John Cena, he didn't see the mention of turning Cena a heel. Where Roman Reigns showed you could turn him a heel, he'd still be a monster. So that's just the way it is. The U.S. title has been around the waist of some of I mean, I have a handful of WCW Hall of Famers: John Bradshaw Layfield, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ravishing Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, Holly Race, Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, Sting, legends like the Total Package Lex Luger, Barry Windham, Teddy Blanchard, just to name a few guys who have held that United States Championship. Dusty and Dustin are the only father-son duo. I take that back. No, they were the first father-son duo to win the United States Heavyweight Championship. Ric Flair and David Flair, number two. David didn't actually win the title. Rick handed the title to his son. David Flair was the god awful WCW United States champion. Oh Lord, he was god awful. You could have gave it to a paper bag and done a better job than David Flair. So it was just that U.S. title has mainstay has upstanded its value as of late. The current United States champion, Sheamus, on his third reign as United States heavyweight champion. Wow, went down to 0 views. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep on. Maybe get some more later on down the line. Sheamus on his third reign as United States. When the WWE inquired when they bought WCW from Ted Turner, they bought they bought the U.S. title along with them. Booker T, who won the U.S. title from Rick Steiner at WCW Sin, and he won the WCW title against Scott Steiner on the Night of Champions edition in the final episode of Monday Nitro. Booker T brung over the United States Championship. At that time, they dropped the United States title and called it the U.S. Championship. Booker T lost. Well, no, he didn't lose that title. I take that back. Booker T gave the title to Chris Canyon. Canyon held the belt for 35 days before losing it to Tajiri on the episode of SmackDown. Tajiri held the belt for 2 months before dropping it to Rhino. Rhino held the belt for a month, I think close to 20 something days before dropping the title to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle will hold the belt, not even a month. To be honest with you, Kurt Angle held it for about 3 or 4 months. Angle held it for 3 months, 3 or 4 months, dropped the title to Edge. Edge unified the Intercontinental and U.S. title when he defeated Test at Survivor Series 2001. He defeated Test with a spear to become the first man to ever hold the U.S. Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. Edge is the only person to ever do that, and he has the honor to be the last WCW United States Championship. The belt was reinstated by WWE at WWE's Vengeance. Final match of that, it was a United States Championship tournament featured the final match Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero won when Rhino gored Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero frost splash on the top rope. Eddie Guerrero will go on to hold the title from Vengeance all the way up until No Mercy of that same year, which was about 6 months, 7 months. He lost the title to Big Show. Big Show will hold the title from No Mercy until WrestleMania 20, when he will lose the title to John Cena. Cena will hold on to the title for about 2 months before dropping it to Carlito, have a stabbing incident in the club he was in, beat Carlito to hold on to the title. Booker T came over, um beat John Cena for the United States Championship. Cena beat Booker to regain the United States Championship. Lost the title to Orlando Jordan Orlando Jordan defeated Cena in the 2 weeks before the go home edition on SmackDown. Orlando beat uh, Orlando beat John Cena for the United States Championship. Orlando will go on and hold the title from March, March of that year, March, and will lose it at August to Chris Benoit in 24 seconds. You heard me, people, 24 seconds. Chris Benoit will hold the United States title for 202 days before dropping it to Booker T. Him and Booker T will have a classic best out of seven series for the United. They will have best out. Was it best out of seven or best out of five? Yeah, best out of seven series. Chris Benoit lost that series to Booker T. Booker T won the series and won the title. Chris Benoit defeated Booker T at No Way Out to win the United States title to only hold it for about a month, dropping the title to Booker T. Not Booker T, I'm sorry, dropping the title to JBL. JBL held the belt for a couple of days before losing it to Bobby Lashley, who went on to hold the title for a couple of months, losing it to Finley. Finley will go on and hold the title for a couple of months. He will lose it to crap. Hold on, give me Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy will hold the title for 145 days before losing to Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit, this was Benoit's final championship in WWE, will hold the title for 374 days before losing his final championship at Judgment Day in the 2 out of 3 falls match, two straight falls to MVP. MVP will go on to hold the United States title until Backlash that following year. He will lose the title to Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy will go on to lose the title to Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin will go on to lose the title back to MVP. MVP will lose the title to Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston lost the title to The Miz. The Miz lost the title to R-Truth. R-Truth lost the title back to The Miz. The Miz will lose the title again to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan will hold the title for a very long time before he lost the United States Championship to Sheamus. I think it was Sheamus. Yeah, it was Sheamus. Sheamus will lose the title to Rusev. Rusev will lose the title to John Cena. John Cena will lose the championship to Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio lost to Kalisto. Kalisto lost it back to Alberto, won it back to Kalisto. Rusev win the U.S. title again. Just get, hold on. I'm going ahead of myself. Thank you. Wait a minute. R2 would beat Rusev. No, hold on. Well, we're going to stop at Rusev until I get the facts about that. Rusev will beat Kalisto for the United States Championship. And the U.S. Championship has been a staple in WWE ever since Vengeance. I think I want to say 2005. The John Cena held the United States title the longest at 5 reigns. Dean Ambrose was the longest champion in the company. There we go. In the company history, I'm gonna look that up right now so I can give you the facts. Because I do know that Rusev held the title for a minute before losing the title to somebody else. Hold on, give me a minute. Yeah, so anybody okay, so the question for those you just tuning in, who did Oscar defeat to win her first NXT Women's Championship? Who knows the answer? Leave it in the chat box right there. Now, give me a minute so I can get this correct. I don't want to give my falsified information. If you like the show, like and subscribe, and I will. Yeah, this will be on every Saturday. It was supposed to be on at 2:30, but my computer had an update, and because of issues out of my hands, I had to wait for something else. I had to go on. So yeah. So hold on. We're going. Okay. So here we go. Rusev lost the United States title to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns lost to Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho lost to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens lost to back to Chris Jericho. Kevin Owens beat Chris Jericho. AJ Styles beat Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens beat AJ Styles. AJ Styles beat Kevin Owens. Baron Corbin beat AJ Styles. Dolph Ziggler beat Baron Corbin. Bobby Roode beat won a tournament for it. Randy Orton, Bobby Roode. Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton. Jeff Hardy beat Jinder Mahal on Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Jeff Hardy to win the title. Rusev won the title for a third time. Nakamura beat Nakamura beat Rusev. Rusev and R-Truth lost. R-Truth won the belt against. Yeah, R-Truth won the belt against Nakamura. Samoa Joe beat R-Truth for his first. Rey Mysterio beat Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe beat Rey Mysterio. Ricochet beat Samoa Joe. AJ Styles beat some Ricochet. Rey Mysterio defeated AJ Styles. Andrade defeated Rey Mysterio. Apollo Crews defeated Apollo Crews defeated Andrade. Bobby Roode defeated Apollo Crews. Matt Riddick defeated Bobby Roode in a triple threat match, and the current champion Sheamus defeated Matt Riddle. Ooh, good lord! Oh, good. Sheamus is the current champion. This is Sheamus' third reign as United States champion. That was the history of the United States Championship. The greatest United States champion of all time, in my opinion, will have to be Lex Luger. Luger held the belt for over 2 years, so I'm gonna say Lex Luger. Lex Luger held the WCW United States Championship over 2 years. All right, now nobody answered the question. The answer to the question is Oscar defeated Bailey to win her first NXT Women's Championship. All right, now let's talk about something. Let's talk about ECW. Also, this yesterday, ECW legend passed away. He's a three-time ECW Tag Team Champion. He was the Mentis, the hardcore Mentis. I'm talking about New Jack himself. New Jack, who was a part of the Gangsters. He was a Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champion. He was managed by Jim Cornette. New Jack was the only person that, when ECW was bought out by WWE, he did not go to WWE because he felt it wouldn't fit him. He was right. He's a three-time ECW Tag Team Champion, two-time with Mustafa, and one-time with John Cronus. So rest in peace to New Jack. You was one heck of a superstar. All right, second trivia of this show. The second trivia is this: Who did Rey Mysterio defeat in a classic to win the Cruiserweight Championship at Halloween Havoc? Who did Rey Mysterio defeat in a classic to win the WCW Cruiserweight Championship at Halloween Havoc? Who was it? Come on. I know someone know this. All right. I know somebody got to know this. Now, we talked about the United States Championship. Now let's talk about who made, let's talk about something else. I want to talk about something else. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the black superstars in professional wrestling. Ron Simmons was the first black heavyweight champion of the world. And I mean, he was the first. He was the first. There was no other mainstream black heavyweight champion of the world. When I mean mainstream, for Ron Simmons to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship in WCW at that time put Ron Simmons on a level with nobody else. Ron defeated Vader in Baltimore, Maryland, to win the WCW United States Championship. I'm sorry, to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Forgive me. Ron Simmons will go on to hold that title for 4 months before dropping him back to Vader. Ron was an excellent world champion, the second black heavyweight champion, the first black WWF champion, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The Rock was the first black WWF champion. And I say that because at that time, WWE didn't have a lot of black superstars. But when Rock came in, for Farouk Hersham was there, and he changed to Dr. Hersham and became Farouk. Farouk, aka Ron Simmons, same person. Farouk made the Nation of Domination. The first nation was Savio Vega and Crush. Got rid of them. He kept D'Lo. It became Farouk, D'Lo, Mark Henry, Kamal Mustafa, and The Rock. That combination of the Nation of Domination, hands down the best, because you knew The Rock was going to break out. He was cocky, he was arrogant, he was self-centered, and the episode where he gave all of them guys, he called them Rolexes, but they weren't the Rolexes. He gave them the gold watches and gave Farouk a copy of a poster of himself. He paid for that. He paid for that big time. The Rock, the first black WWF champion. Mark Henry, later on down the line, became the World Heavyweight Champion. Booker T was the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. You have a lot of black superstars who've been World Heavyweight Champion. R Truth, aka Ron the Truth Killings, is a former two-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Believe it or not, R Truth, aka Ron the Truth Killings, is a former NWA WCW, I'm sorry, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. As a lot of black superstars been champion. Junkyard Dog was World Heavyweight Champion for the Mid South Coliseum. JYD is perhaps the greatest black superstar there ever was. JYD. If you wanted to make a name for yourself, you had to turn on JYD. If you did not turn on JYD, you was going to be in JYD's shadow. Ron Simmons knew that. He turned on JYD. Look at Ron Simmons' career after he turned on JYD. As Cameron Grimes would say, to the moon. You had a lot of guys who didn't get the opportunity like some guys did. Guys like Dito Brown, The Godfather, guys like Ice Train, guys like, you know what? Let me stop right there. Ice Train. Ice Train absolutely sucked. Scott Norton carried him on fire and ice. That's all I got to say about that. But you got a lot of guys like Teddy Long. Teddy Long was a referee before he was a manager. He started on Monday Night Raw, Ducking and Bucket Corporation. He had Jazz, Rodney Mack. He had Chris Lewinsky. Never understand why Chris Lewinsky was in that group. He was. Didn't understand then. Don't understand it now. Maybe it's for me not to understand. Teddy Long went on to be the longest general manager in WWE history. When I mean the longest, Teddy Long is infamous for tag team matches on SmackDown. He's infamous. Teddy Long was also the manager of Doom. He's also the manager of Ron Simmons. He was at Ron Simmons. He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was Ron Simmons' best man at his wedding. So that's the black superstars in professional wrestling. R-Truth, two-time United States champion, former tag team champion. He's a two-time hardcore champion. He's a 52-time 24/7 champion. 52 times 24/7 champion. That's amazing. That's freaking amazing. R-Truth for you. All right, now I'm going to add another tag team to the tag team Mount Rushmore. And that tag team will be the legendary Hall of Fame tag team. No, I'm not gonna add the Hall of Fame tag team. I'm not gonna. The next tag team to go on my tag teams, Mount Rushmore. Right now, it's just the Dudley Boys and the New Age Outlaws. Well, today we're gonna add the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. I'm gonna tell you why. The Hardy Boys had a rough upbringing. The first match on Monday Night Raw, they got the crap kicked out of them by the Headbangers. Came out in their flannel gear, and the Headbangers beat the crap out of them. From that point on, they was used as door openers for King of the Ring and stuff like that. They finally got their big break when they signed their contract with WWE, and it was managed by Michael P.S. Hayes, the Freebird. Michael Hayes took the Hardy Boys from curtain jerkers to tag team champions on an episode of Raw. The Hardy Boys defeated the Acolytes, which is no easy chores, which is no easy chore at all. Defeat the Acolytes for the tag team championships. They only held the titles for 14 days. Still, they were tag team champions. No, I think it was 25 days. I'm sorry. 25 days. They won the titles 5 more times after that. Both Hardy Boys had individual career as single champion. Matt Hardy, cruiserweight champion. Matt Hardy is a former cruiserweight champion, a former United States champion, and a former ECW world champion. Jeff Hardy is a former Intercontinental champion, former European champion, former hardcore champion. He's a former, that's about it, if I'm not mistaken. He's a former, like I said, Intercontinental, European tag team. He's also a former United States champion. Jeff Hardy is a two-time world heavyweight champion, a one-time champion. He's a bona fide Hall of Fame, a three-time world champ overall. Five, you count the two in TNA World, no, six. You count the three TNA World Heavyweight Championship reigns he had. Jeff Hardy, a bona fide Hall of Famer. All right. So the answer to the trivia question is Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio tore the house down in Halloween Havoc, and it was a heck of a match, hands down. Eddie Guerrero won, and yeah, not Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio won. It was a heck of a match. My heads off to both men. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. Rey Mysterio, the greatest cruiserweight of all time, in my opinion. So that's what I got to say about that. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 2 of the Master of the Mat with Anthony Bryant. I am your host, Anthony Origin Bryant. Next week we will start on time at 2:30. I will see you then. Until then, y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you back here next week. Peace.